Apple just secretly killed the entry-level MacBook Air, and the craziest part is, they did it using leftover iPhone parts. You heard that right. The $599 MacBook Neo is officially here, and it is breaking every single rule Apple has strictly followed for the last 40 years. But before you run out and grab one for yourself or your kids, there is one massive, almost invisible catch to this price tag that Apple tried to bury in the fine print, a catch that could completely ruin your experience if you don't know about it. I'm going to reveal exactly what that is at the end of this video, and trust me, it changes the entire math on whether this machine is actually worth your hard-earned cash. Think back to 2007. Remember the first time you held the original iPhone? It felt like alien technology, didn't it? We had spent years dealing with clunky plastic keyboards and frustrating stylus pens, and suddenly here was this sleek, glass slab that just worked. We are experiencing that exact same tectonic shift right now, but this time, it's happening to the laptop market. For decades, if you only had $500 or $600 to spend on a computer, you were stuck in the bargain bin. You had to settle for a creaky plastic Windows PC that took 10 minutes to boot up, or a Chromebook that basically turned into a paperweight the second you lost Wi-Fi. But here is the thing. Apple looked at that bargain bin and decided to drop a nuclear bomb on it. The MacBook Neo doesn't use some watered-down, bargain basement computer processor. It is literally powered by the A18 Pro chip, the exact same silicon engine that drives the iPhone 16 Pro. I know what some of you are thinking. Drew, my phone is great, but I'm not running a desktop operating system on a smartphone chip. I had the exact same skepticism. It sounds like a recipe for a sluggish, overheating disaster. But the reality is completely the opposite. Because Apple produces these chips by the tens of millions for their phones, the manufacturing cost is incredibly low. They took that massive supply chain advantage, slapped it into a beautifully machined, 13-inch aluminum chassis, and created a $599 machine that effortlessly outpaces the entry-level hardware we were all forced to accept just a few years ago. So, the performance is there. But what about the design? Because usually, when Apple slashes a price this hard, they strip away everything we actually love about the hardware. Well, wait until you hear what they kept, and more importantly, what they threw away. Now let's talk about the actual physical machine. You are getting a stunning 13-inch liquid retina display with uniform bezels. And thankfully, there is no controversial notch invading your screen space. They even gave it a high-quality 1080p webcam, which is frankly a miracle considering laptops twice this price still look like security camera footage from a 1990s gas station. But this is where it gets insane. They didn't handicap the ports like they did on the old 12-inch MacBook. You get MagSafe charging, folks. Plus 2 full-speed USB-C ports. It's like NASA called, and they want their engineering back. And the colors? They finally brought some life back to the Mac lineup. We are talking vibrant shades like citrus, yellow, blue, blush, and green. It's a massive breath of fresh air compared to the usual smudgy, fingerprint magnet finishes we get on the Pro models. I love my space black MacBook Pro, but let's be honest, trying to keep that thing clean is a full-time job. But all of this hardware goodness brings up a massive question. If the Neo is this good, why would anyone ever buy a MacBook Air again? Apple is known for protecting their premium products, so what is missing here? The answer actually comes from deep within Apple's supply chain, and it might frustrate you. Recently, there were some wild rumors flying around that the next generation of this MacBook Neo might finally introduce a touchscreen. It makes sense, right? It's running an iPhone chip, why not add touch? But according to a recent Power On newsletter from Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, you can completely forget about it. Gurman clearly stated that adding a touchscreen would increase production costs way too much, and he would be shocked if we see touch on the Neo in the next 3 years. If Apple is going to put a touchscreen on a Mac, they are going to save it for the ultra-premium MacBook Pro lineup coming late 2026 or 2027. The MacBook Neo is strictly a cost-engineered product. It has a physical, mechanical trackpad and a color-matched Magic Keyboard, and honestly, that's exactly how it should be. We don't need fingerprints all over our Mac screens anyway. So we have a $599 metal laptop. Or just $499 if you use the education discount. It has a 16-hour battery. It has an A18 Pro chip. It seems too good to be true. And that brings us right back to that massive, hidden catch I mentioned at the very beginning of this video. Apple isn't selling you a $599 computer out of the kindness of their hearts. The catch is the baseline specifications and the long-term reality of unified memory. The entry-level MacBook Neo comes with 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. Because that A18 Pro chip is so fast, the computer will aggressively use memory swap, meaning it writes temporary data to your SSD when the RAM gets full. If you are just browsing the web, checking emails, and watching YouTube, you will never ever notice this. It will run flawlessly. But if you buy this $599 machine thinking you are going to outsmart the system and use it as a heavy-duty 4K video editing rig for the next 7 years, you are going to burn through that internal SSD's lifespan much faster than you would on a Pro machine. That is the trap. Apple made a machine so shockingly good at the basics, it tricks you into thinking it's a workstation. It is not. It is the ultimate everyday computer, designed to absolutely destroy the budget Windows and Chromebook market, but it is strictly an everyday machine. Honestly, this changes everything. The MacBook Neo isn't just a new product, it is a complete reset of what we should expect from a budget computer. It is the first true computing for the masses moment we've had since the early internet days. So, I want to hear directly from you. Does the $599 price tag of the MacBook Neo finally convince you to grab one for yourself or a family member? Or are those 8GB of base RAM a total deal breaker for your specific workflow? Let me know your exact thoughts down in the comments below. I read every single one of them. Thank you so much for hanging out and talking tech with me today.